We are all talking about the technology, and as you said, we also have to keep the business perspective in mind, especially this perspective from citizens and companies who, as Johanna Jero this afternoon told us, that the cloud will be the place where they meet. Can you elaborate on that in relation to your project, how that touches the citizens and the companies, and what are the benefits? Yes?
Yeah, so I mentioned in my slide deck that we were looking at transforming our top 25 most used services, so we're making them, the tagline is digital by default. And I guess, the key to being able to do that is to be able to deploy new services flexibly, repeatably, be able to do it in a very, like everybody else, we're in the fortunate position of not having very much money. So we're having to do that in a way which really gives you value for money. And I think what we're seeing is, we couldn't do that with our historic procurement vehicles and our historic approach to suppliers and our historic approach which says, we'll spend 6 months pulling together a large document detailing our requirements, we'll spend another 12 months trying to buy something, and then you'll spend another 18 months building the thing that we've asked, and then at that some point in the future we'll deploy it and see what the users think of it. So we have to do things much more iteratively, and I just don't see how you can do that both without using cloud technology, but I think with also with using new development practices that allow you to do many, many iterations of the service that you deliver, so that if you get it not quite right, I won't say wrong, but not quite right the first time, that the next week you can improve and improve and improve. And I think that's something that we've been learning over the last couple of years, how to do and how to really deliver in the way that a modern digital organization needs to deliver.
So on my coach at home as a citizen, I get it quicker and I get it digital.
We have a different picture. I think we have this legacy problem too. We have, as regards the public sector, we have many, many different data centers, and it's difficult to find an overall solution for cloud computing. So that needs many efforts, and I wonder very much how you manage this. Maybe you have not such a problem with the local authorities, and you are more centralized in the sense that you can do so. That is in Germany really a problem to formulate overall policy in my eyes. But what we can learn from our projects is that on local sites, as far as you could see from the projects we have, then it is possible to start with these municipal data centers and to find ways to give much more cloud services, to put that here in motion and to bring it to the people, to the citizen, or to the companies. From the other experience we made was, and that is very important, we have to do a lot work on give overall information orientation for the firms, but that means we would like to see more firms using the cloud. That is a little bit different objective. It's not from the public sector. It's more to bring cloud services to the companies. And there, I think we are not. We train a lot to see, and we see that it is not so easy to convince the firms to use the cloud. Of course, you have a strong argument, that is, you have pay-per-use, you have a new business model, and it's, for example, very easy for the startups to say, okay, I don't invest in on-premise technologies, I use the cloud. That is very convincing, and you can see in Berlin, for example, where you find many startup firms, they use very often the cloud services, and that works very well. But for the machine tool industry, for example, which is in Germany traditionally also very strong, is for them really a matter of security, very much more than for the startups, because they have the fear to lose the knowledge they have. So therefore, it is in that area you have to look at solutions you have, which rely very much on security. You have also to give them guidelines for the contracts, how they have to handle contracts, what are the liabilities, where is the location, and so on. That has to be, that's what we do by Trusted Cloud.
The experience in the Finland program, because what I see in the panel is some countries making pace and some having struggled with their internal borders. And how was that in Finland? And how can you help your colleagues?
Well, like I said, of course, we have been now running this program over the past 4 years. Mm-hmm. So, and there has been a lot of lessons learned. Like I said, of course, we are ready to share what we have done and our experiences, and even come to talk with whoever wants. So, I think that is our role here, and that is what we actually reason why I am here today. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One comment, that was interesting that you proposed such a network, and I think that is maybe worthwhile to see what works and to compare a bit the experience we all found in our different countries. Of course, we have to look at the starting points and the conditions which might be different in the countries, but I think that would be worthwhile. So that's, in my eyes, an interesting proposal.
So the cloud goes cross-border.
For example,
yes.
The experience also, yes. To share the experience. Maybe we can learn from each other. Yeah?
Do you want to add?
I think we need to share things more often, and not only on the ECP board. It's not really a place to have deep exchange of our experiences. And for us, it's a lack, I think, in our world of European, not to meet as often as we will, I think.
Well, I think that all of us has more or less the same problems. We are also in a consolidation of data centers and problems with the budget. So it's more or less the same than in other countries. What we see with cloud is that it's a technology that allow small public administration provides high-level services to its citizens. So to citizens, it's wonderful to see that in the small village of 300 inhabitants can do the same procedures that can do in a big capital. That's nice. We set this special private cloud in Spain in order to deploy cloud services to public administration, but we also consume cloud services to provide this. We are in a situation that we provide services because it's easier in Spain to provide services for another public administration than in the procurement problems we have, but we need to buy technology and services to provide. So one of the things that we are doing is level our data in a strict condition of security and less strict, more or less like in France, and see where is the better place to put each layer of data. So it's a thing in the middle. We can use also public cloud services.
I look at time and I look at the people all around here. Are there some questions?
There's somebody over.
Yes? We shouldn't make it 7, or shall we?
Victoria Eva from Pearson. We're an education company, so I was quite interested to hear about the education projects that the German administration was doing. And I don't know if any of the other speakers were doing any other projects in the education space and what role they thought cloud computing had for the education space at all.
Thanks. Yeah?
Well, from EIT ICT Lab point of view, so one of the goals I didn't mention earlier, one of the goal is the not only look networking and research and business aspects, but there is a master kind of an education line as well for master school students and PhD school students. And when I was talking about this future cloud action line, of course we are collecting all the experiences what we have, for example, from cloud software program, and put that together through that channel. And and on the other hand, especially in our program, we had quite a few universities and other research organizations involved. So in that sense, the education is also there.
Well, we have two kind of projects. Projects for education, general education, but the law was just voted 3 months ago, so the projects are in definition for the day being. And another huge cloud project in the university field that is called Univ Cloud within all French universities, but it's just designed and not yet launched.
I think certainly in the UK, I mean, it's one of the areas where certainly if you're in a school, you have the right to buy whatever software and manage it however you like. So it's actually a place where there's a prime opportunity, I think, for a software as a service type approach that can give you the kinds of things that you're looking for. And, I think it's also an obvious space where open source should have a large impact. I think when you start to look then at kind of universities, we have quite a few examples of universities working together to create research clouds and things like that. So there's an awful lot out there.
So, any more questions or? Yes? Yeah?
Colbert from Belgium for the UK. I was a little bit frightened about the amount, 13,000 services you have in your catalog, and how can you guarantee a consistent architecture among all the users of the cloud services? Do you have any plans to streamline this?
No, we don't guarantee a consistent architecture amongst all the users of those services. So this is where it goes back to, I think it's incumbent upon government to act as an intelligent customer and buy the services that they specifically need. I think the challenge more comes not on the architecture of the individual services, but how you can enable interoperability should you need to run the service that you need to meet your needs across multiple services. So I think that's an interesting point for us, and I think that's where we really do look to open standards to enable us to run across potentially multiple suppliers of similar services. 13,000 is a lot. I don't think all of those 13,000 services actually exist, which is a problem. It doesn't help if your search function doesn't always work as well as you might want it to, which is another problem. So I think one of the things that we're really trying to look at now is the experience of the buyers, and how do we actually help buyers to find the service that they want, and what are the criteria and the characteristics that you look at. And we've tried a number of different ways of doing it, and I think we can still improve a lot on that. So I don't necessarily think the volume of services in itself is an issue. I kind of think it's probably an issue that will correct over time, because I suspect as we go through different iterations of the frameworks, people will just remove the services that aren't selling. There's no point blocking up a catalogue for stuff that doesn't sell. But that's kind of a maturity thing which we've not quite got into yet.
So, thanks all for your clear insight in the particular cases. you see that it's a more an organic way that small clouds are created in the various countries because you have a state where you're starting from. It would be a pity to start France over again just because we wanted to have a cloudy France. So thanks for that all, and I think we can learn a lot of each other, also we from the project. Thanks to the public for listening and being here, and have a nice meeting up afterwards. Thanks.